Welcome, everybody. I am Melissa Hailey. I am a real estate instructor. I'm also the owner of Agent Advantage Coaching and Training. What Agent Advantage is we are a coaching and training company. We serve real estate professionals all across Texas with a virtual continuing education, in-person classes, and also hybrid classes. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of continuing education for realtors in 2022. And while we're waiting for everybody to jump on the Facebook Live, let me just quickly introduce everybody. So today I have Jessica Barker with me. She is the Professional Development Director for the Collin County Association of Realtors.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here.
We are so glad you are here too. Thank you for joining us. So Jessica, girl, I've known you for a long time. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do for the Collin County Association of Realtors.
Yeah, so I actually just did the math, Melissa, and I think we've known each other 10 years this year. So crazy. I am originally a small town girl from Kansas, and I moved to Texas to be closer to my brother and his babies, who are no longer babies. They're growing like weeds. And I started at CCAR in 2012 and have worked in the real estate industry in several capacities since. At CCAR, I oversee the professional development department, and I help ensure that our members have the tools and resources necessary to help them succeed. It's always my goal to ensure that the Collin County Realtors are the most educated and ethical in the nation.
You know, I cannot believe it's been that long, but I believe it. And I will tell you, I know you're doing a great job because I travel all over the place, meeting with realtors and going to conferences and stuff. And it doesn't matter if I'm at a state conference or at a national conference. CCAR has really good representation, and we really are really well educated. So I just appreciate you for that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, anyway, since we know you're such a great, awesome resource for our realtor members, I would like to just briefly chat about what is happening at CCAR lately. So I'm sure there's a lot going on. You want to talk about what we've been doing?
Yes. So actually this week, we just had our largest educational event of the year, Blast Off. And we had a phenomenal turnout, and the speakers were awesome. It was so great to be back in person and see everyone. An exciting day, an educational day. In fact, I'm still exhausted from it, but it was so worth it. We're also ramping up our hybrid course offerings at CCAR to ensure that our members can attend classes in the manner that they prefer, whether that be in person here at CCAR in the banquet room or virtually via Zoom. And perhaps, I guess, the most exciting is all the hard work and preparation that you personally have been instrumental in to hopefully bring a brand new education and event center right behind our current location here in Plano. So super excited about that.
So today's topic is the importance of continuing education for realtors in 2022. And I know everybody is ready to find out more about this because it's all about how they can use this to build their business and to make a better impact for not only their clients, but for themselves and their own family. So let's just get started. I think, Jessica, that the first question people would want to know today on this topic is, if I'm a realtor, what continuing education is required by TREC for their license renewal in 2022?
Yeah, Melissa. So there are actually two types of renewals for agents in Texas. The first renewal is honestly the most intense and requires the most planning. Brand new agents in Texas are required to take 98 hours for their first renewal, 90 hours of SAE, which consists of 3 30-hour courses, in addition to 4 hours of TREC Legal 1 and 4 hours of TREC Legal 2. However, if you've already renewed your license once in the past, the education requirement is different.
Okay. Well, so thanks for that information, Jessica. So I know when you're a brand new realtor, you're already on information overload and there is so much to learn. So I'm sure that's why their renewal requirements are different from an agent who's been in the business for a longer period of time. Now, you mentioned that because it's a different requirement for someone who's been in the business for a while, let's address that. What continuing education is currently required for agents that are maybe not on their first license renewal for like a subsequent license renewal?
Yeah, absolutely. So agents that have renewed at least one time already are required to complete 18 hours of continuing education every 2 years. 4 hours needs to be Trek Legal 1. 4 hours is going to be Trek Legal 2, and then at least 3 hours of contract related coursework. If they're a broker or in a supervisory role, they would also be required to take 6 hours of broker responsibility course. The remainder of the 18 hours can be filled with any elective CE in a topic that is most interesting to the individual agent or their business.
Okay, got it. So if you've been in the business for a long time, the state requires less continuing education than for a brand new agent. And I think that definitely makes sense. Now, you did mention that agents must take 3 hours of contracts training. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that's actually the newest requirement by Trek. Because contracts and addenda are constantly changing and are obviously a very important part of the transaction, Trek implemented a requirement of 3 hours of contract-related coursework for every renewal. You do get the freedom to choose what type of contract course you take. For example, here at CCAR, we offer a 1 to 4 family contract course for realtors that specialize in residential real estate, as well as a commercial contracts course for those members that specialize in commercial real estate. We even just recently added a condo contract class for those for our agents, that specialize in condominiums.
Wow, that's awesome. It is definitely obvious that the contracts are very, very important. I know that you're a big fan of this. I am too, because, if you do a great job with your contracts, it helps your clients in so many ways. So along with everything else that agents need to know, though, right? There's so much, but contracts are important. So it sounds like, though, based on some of the stuff you're talking about, I can understand how it could be confusing for an agent to know what they need to do in order to keep their education current. License renewal is important, but where do I go? What do I do? So I love it that you're such a great resource for our realtor members at CCAR. I know that I appreciate you. I hope that everyone else does as well. But let's think back to those newer agents. So we talked about the agents who've been around a bit. Let's talk about those newer agents. I think many of them may be glad to know, well, this is how many hours I need, but they might be thinking something along the lines of, my renewal might be 6 months or a year away. What classes should I be taking right now?
It's true. The first renewal takes the most planning because 98 hours is actually 98 hours of learning. It just can't happen overnight. GRI is my recommendation for completing SAE. It's comprised of 3 30-hour courses, so it fulfills the requirements, but it also gives you your first designation. The GRI has no renewal fees, no membership dues. You can actually leave the business and come back and you still have your GRI. And while pre-licensing courses are created mainly to help you pass the test, the GRI is kind of developed to equip you with the foundation you need to become a successful realtor.
I 100% agree. As a matter of fact, I love teaching the GRI classes. And for those of you who don't know, GRI stands for the Graduate of Realtor Institute. And I think the GRI curriculum gives agents so many of the tools that they need to be successful. While the classes are great classes for an agent to take when they're newer, and you need that, it's just so much great information. I think it's great for any agent, even a seasoned agent. They're going to learn a lot from the GRI designation for sure. So let me ask you, Jessica, are there any other classes that are required for a realtor outside of what TREC requires?
Yes. So TREC actually stands for the Texas Real Estate Commission, and their primary reason of existence is to safeguard the consumers in matters of real property transactions and valuation services. So one of the ways that they do that is by ensuring that licensees are educated, going over a lot of what we've just covered. However, realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, and they subscribe to a strict code of ethics. So realtors are held to a higher standard. And members of NAR are required to take a 2.5-hour code of ethics training every 3 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I love it that you mentioned this, because I think it is important for people to know that realtors are held to a higher ethical standard than someone that just has a real estate license. I'm not always sure the public is aware of that. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Now, just to be clear though, did you say that all realtors, no matter how long they've been in the business, all realtors need to take code of ethics training every 3 years, regardless of how many years they've been in the business?
Yes. So many realtor members don't realize this because here in Texas, TREC Legal 2 previously covered the NAR Code of Ethics and satisfied that requirement. However, just a few years back, TREC changed the course to focus primarily on business ethics as opposed to the specifics in the NAR Code of Ethics. So NAR no longer recognizes that as fulfilling the requirement. So all realtors must complete a minimum of 2.5 hours every 3 years. NAR does offer it free to all of our members online. So you can take it anytime during that 3-year period, free of charge.
Awesome. I love free. So you said it's free for this Code of Ethics training, but how do I find it? How do I know where I can go get Code of Ethics training?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can check your Code of Ethics status and access the Code of Ethics course material online anytime by visiting ccar.net/NARCOE. However, many of our members are electing to complete their C2EX endorsement, which is NAR's commitment to excellence endorsement. It's much like a certification or designation. But it's an endorsement, so you can use it on your marketing and it fulfills the Code of Ethics requirement. It's also free of charge. It's just a bunch of learning modules and tasks that you complete. So again, win-win, you get a certification or an endorsement and you complete that Code of Ethics.
I love it. Win-win is my favorite. All right. Well, so there's a lot of information we've already covered today, and I really appreciate you being here. But my thought is, no wonder agents need guidance in order to keep their license active and current. I mean, they need someone like you. So I have another question for you. I have been in the real estate profession for over 15 years, and I always thought it was important to go above and beyond, right? To even get more education than the minimum that's required by the state. So, in your position as a professional development director, do you feel that continuing education is necessary to help an agent grow their career?
I personally am a huge advocate for realtor certifications and designations. I think of it like this. You don't go to your general practitioner for a knee replacement or a heart surgery. You find a specialist that has a good reputation, that's educated on your specific ailment. And realtor certifications and designations are designed the same way. If someone is selling their home, they're looking for someone that specializes in listing homes, such as a seller's representative specialist. If someone wants to buy a vacation home, they will feel best served by a resort and second home specialist who has taken that additional education and specialized in serving that niche market. So certifications and designations set you apart and help you stand out from other realtors.
Yeah, I agree. As a matter of fact, I couldn't agree more. There is so much that we can learn as agents to best serve our consumer, our client. And there are all of these options. So my next thought is with all of the classes that are available, and there's a lot of them, maybe an agent is wondering, well, why should I go above and beyond? Why should I just why shouldn't I just take whatever is required by the state and move along and, put in the bare minimum? Should they go above and beyond for their educational growth?
I truly believe that education is the best ammunition that a realtor can take to a listing or buyer presentation. Once you educate your clients on the benefits of working with you and cover your education and qualifications, you won't have to ask for their business. They'll want to do business with you.
I agree with that 100%. And as you know, I am very passionate about real estate agent education. I am very passionate about professionalism within the real estate community. And I believe it benefits the consumer as well as the agent. I know I said that earlier, but I really do believe that. In fact, that is why we're giving everyone today the access to that free training video that I talked about in the beginning. The video is going to be all about how you as an agent can utilize the information about broker services form. And if you will use it appropriately in doing so, to what Jessica said, they'll want to be in business with you. People will want to sign a buyer representation agreement with you. And I know that that's always a struggle. So it's important. It protects the consumer. It protects the agent. And we're going to give it to you guys for free. So yay, good stuff today. Well, Jessica, let me ask you one more question. In your opinion, what does the future of continuing education look like for Texas Realtors?
Well, COVID kind of forced us into the virtual space, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's honestly opened up a lot of doors in the education space by allowing us to bring in out-of-area instructors and cover additional subjects not previously offered in this area. I think the future will see a lot more of the hybrid format and class offerings. It will grow as many realtors are ecstatic to return to the classroom. There's a lot that have seen the benefits of attending those classes from home. I think the hybrid virtual format has added an opportunity of networking with agents from other areas and forming relationships and referral partnerships. For example, here at CCAR, we now have realtors that are taking our classes virtually from Houston, Austin, Waco, Lubbock, Tyler. And our local members are being able to take classes virtually in other markets. I think it's kind of a awesome opportunity that's evolved out of the virtual and hybrid format.
I love that perspective. And I get it because I teach sometimes for you on those hybrid classes, and we'll have people in the classroom and people up on the screen. But I do know that there are some people, they just feel like they are zoomed out. Just don't put me on that computer one more time. But I also feel like what you're saying here about this networking, this is putting a very positive spin on doing the classes virtually. And I think that's a great thought process to really think through for our agents. Now, me personally, I love taking classes in person because I'm kind of a people person and I like to feed off the energy in the room. Plus, I'm a hugger. So I've missed people during the pandemic. But knowing that an agent can take classes at CCAR in person or via Zoom, do you have any suggestions for any upcoming classes that an agent might be interested in?
Yeah, so we offer a GRI course every single month. So we've always got those on the schedule. We also upcoming have the PSA, which is the Pricing Strategies Advisor course, as well as the RSPS, which is the Resort and Second Home Property Specialist certifications, both coming up in February. You can always access all of our upcoming classes on the CCAR website and register while you're there. And also, just a reminder, CCAR members receive all mandatory CE free of charge as a member benefit. So that includes Check Legal 1, Legal 2, Contracts, and Broker Responsibility course. So if you look at the average cost of those courses elsewhere, it's really quite a savings.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Did I say earlier that I love free? I love free. Free education, that's even better because I love education and I love free. So gosh, what a great member benefit at Collin County Association of Realtors. I love that. And I hope that CCAR members know that it's out there and that they enjoy it for sure. Now, I do have one last question for you, Jessica, before we get done today. Are there any other ways that an agent can get plugged in or maybe get involved? Anything they can do to further their education and further their business with CCAR?
Absolutely, and always. I highly recommend joining the CCAR Professional Development and Education Committee. You kind of get to be the boots on the ground, so to speak, and help ensure that we are offering the courses that are important and pertinent subjects related to real estate in our area. You also get to help monitor classes at the association and receive our elective CE and designations and certifications at a drastically reduced rate just by volunteering. So close to free. And I'd also recommend looking into TRLP, which is the Texas Realtor Leadership Program. It's an awesome opportunity that educates participants and shows them how to use their talents that they already possess to make a difference in their professional and personal areas of interest.
Awesome. Wow. This is so much great information. And I love it that you're like, it's not quite free, but join that professional development committee and it's almost free. So I love this. But I do think that for an agent who's not as plugged in, this is probably very overwhelming. And I totally get it why realtors need guidance from their local association of realtors and from people like you. So I am very thankful personally that I'm a member of the Collin County Association of Realtors. And we are really, really lucky to have you, Jessica. You totally know what it takes to help keep an agent up to speed with all of their education stuff. So I appreciate you.
Well, Melissa, it's always my pleasure to help. I'm extremely passionate about realtor education. So please always feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I know that it can be confusing and overwhelming, so I'm always happy to help our members navigate the process.
And by the way, if you're watching on Facebook Live and you want more information about how you can join the Collin County Association of Realtors, or if you want to join the Agent Advantage email list, that'll keep you up to speed on upcoming classes that we have, make sure that you click the link in the chat. And of course, you can always follow us on Facebook. If you want to follow Agent Advantage on Facebook, that is at agent.advantage.texas. And if you want to follow the Collin County Association of Realtors on Facebook, that is at ccar.tx. Both of those are going to help you stay informed about upcoming classes